Thank you for joining us. I am Melissa Tyrone.
And I am Trevor Ilio, and it's our pleasure to host the 2019 Senior Signing Night at Charles J. Colgan High School. We have some distinguished guests with us tonight. Please hold your applause until after we've named all the guests. On my left is Dr. Healy, principal at Colgan High School. Mr. Huckstein, Colgan's athletic director. Mr. Dar, our Booster Club president. And Ms. Ashley Osborne, Colgan's athletic trainer.
Thank you for joining us in the recognition and celebration of the 13 hardworking athletes taking the next step in their athletic careers. We would like to thank Dr. Healy, Mr. Huckstein, our athletic director, and Mr. Dar, our athletic booster president, for making this celebration tonight possible.
Receiving an offer to play in college-level sports is a very significant accomplishment. Overall, only 5.4% of the 8 million school athletes move on to compete in college-level sports. Let me be clear for you folks like me who often don't do math in public. That means 5 out of every 100 athletes. And according to Next College Student Athletes, less than 2% will receive athletic scholarships. So our athletes, along with the constant support of their friends, family, and teams, have come to this moment tonight after 12 long years full of ups and downs, wins and losses, trial and error. Before I hand it over to Dr. Healy, I want to reiterate, on behalf of the Colgan staff, thank you all for accompanying us tonight.
Good evening. I really appreciate the thanks in here for me and Mr. Huckstein and Mr. Dar, but that's a fake thanks because we didn't do anything. The real thanks goes to Mrs. Beckman and her leadership class. So here's what happened. A couple months ago, they called us down to their classroom during leadership class and they said, we want to do the senior day, we want to do something different than we did last year. And we said, all right, what do you have in mind? And they started describing this event, and we started sweating because it sounded like a lot of work and a lot of effort. And they said, no, we're going to do all the work. And we said, this is the best idea we've ever heard. In all seriousness, we just, literally, I just gave them, Mr. Huckstein and I just gave them the green light. We just said, go for it. And they have done everything to make this night special. These guys, parents, and family and friends, and I want to just, from the bottom of my heart, thank Mrs. Beckman and the leadership class. Can we give them a round of applause, please? And for all the athletes that I can't see, but I just wanted to say, number one, we're super proud of you guys. As Mr. Alio said, it's a tremendous accomplishment to be doing this. We're all going to stay back here in Manassas and follow your careers as you go off and achieve these great things. I'm really looking forward to the spring season with all these outstanding athletes. And I wanted to give also a special shout out. Miss Osborne went back into the game. If she shows she was going to pop back and forth, we should all appreciate what she does for our athletic program. I've been a high school principal for 15 years. I've never worked with a better athletic trainer. She's amazing, and so if she does pop out, we'll just break into spontaneous applause for her. Thank you again to the leadership class, and congratulations to all the signees.
All right, good evening. I'm Mr. Huckstein. Hopefully you know me because I'm here every night. Truth be told, first of all, I want to say one thing. I want to thank two people. One is Mr. Billy Watts. Where are you, Mr. Watts? Mr. Watts, He comes to almost every game himself, videos the games, puts them on YouTube for folks to see. He's put all this together with the help from the kids, right? The kids have said this is what we want, and he's right there with them. So thank you, Mr. Watts, again, for doing what you do here at Colgan High School. The other is Mr. Ryan Sanders, our head custodian. Mr. Sanders and his staff worked diligently after school to set this up along with the kids. Again, the kids worked very hard with Ms. Beckman putting this together. I do want to say one thing, parents, I want to thank you for all that you do, because this is, even though it's not the end, we've got another 4 years, it's the end of this first part, right? Graduating high school and then moving on to college. But this piece, it's great. It's going to be fun to watch your kids in college, but enjoy this. If you're playing a spring sport, enjoy this last spring sport as much as you can. And I thank you for all you do in the concession stand, helping us out, and just being at the games and being positive. I really enjoy that, so thank you. I am now going to turn this over to somebody who has been very integral part of this, has agreed to pay some money to help out when needed out of the booster funds, and it's our booster president, Mr. Greg Dodd, who's working very hard to make our athletics the best they can be. So, Mr. Dodd.
The biggest thing is, as an athletic booster, we're here to support the parents and support the athletes. I'm excited to see these guys and girls in their future careers doing awesome. So we're all going to be able to watch on YouTube, I'm sure. So, also want to thank Ms. Beckman and the leadership. You guys did a great job when we did nothing. Thank you. I appreciate that. So without further ado, I'm going to turn it over to these guys.
Hello, I want to thank everybody for coming out. I have the privilege of introducing two of our athletes from the football program. And the first one is Justin Capp. Justin Capp was our quarterback the last 3 years. He was all-region, as his first team all-region as a punter. He was also all-district as a quarterback. He signed in today with Fairmont State. And the thing that impressed me the most about Justin the first time, we had our first practice over at Benton. And I think one thing that really needs to be said about all of these athletes is it was a very unique situation for them in that they all went to another school as freshmen. And then Colgan opened up when they were sophomores. So that transition for them to go from one school to another, obviously difficult for all of them. Most players in that situation, from what I remember being at our first practice, which had to be over at Benton Middle School because this field and everything wasn't done yet, was everyone was really timid. Everybody wasn't sure how to act or what to do, and everyone was kind of waiting, for their place. Not Justin Capp. Justin Capp showed up and it made it pretty obvious that I am the starting quarterback. I am going to be the starting quarterback. No one else is going to be the starting quarterback because I am the starting quarterback. And he took control of that from the beginning. It was obvious that that's what he wanted to do, and he was favorite memory of Justin, I was trying to think of what to pick, and I might actually pick something that really didn't have anything to do with Colgan. What I thought the neatest thing that he's gotten to do so far is he played for the U.S. national team, and he got to go to Cowboys Stadium and play kind of in an all-star game against the Mexican national team in Cowboys Stadium. And I watched that. It was streaming online, and to get him to be able to see one of my players, you know, a Colgan football player, we're a brand new school, to have somebody at Cowboys Stadium representing us, representing his family, but also representing the United States, to be able to play football, such a cool experience. And I thought that was really, really neat. And that was the thing that I picked to talk about for Justin. So he's going to be signed today with Fairmont State. Go right ahead. Do I say his name again?
All right, here we go. Good evening, everybody. First off, I would like to thank God for giving me the ability to play this sport. I also would like to thank my parents, my coaches, especially Coach Bod and Coach Powell, Miss Osborne, my teachers, my teammates, and my friends. I would like to give a big thank you to my parents for all the hard work and money and dedication they have put into this for me to be able to continue this sport at the next level. My favorite memory of my time playing Colgan football was definitely the Woodbridge game this year. It was a great night because we were all playing very well, and I finally connected a pass to Chase, who caught it in the end zone. Our defense got a fumble recovery, and the very next offensive play, I threw the ball to Blake, who scored. But more importantly than the win was the idea that we were finally a team. We had been training every day since August, and in that moment, we became a team. Thank you, Colgan High School, for the opportunity to grow up here.
The second athlete that I get to talk about is Darian Brokenberg. Darian was all-district for us as a defensive end. He led our team in sacks. He led our team in tackles for loss, and he's going to sign today with Howard University. The thing that I was most impressed about Darian was that he was willing to play different positions if we needed him to. Over the last 3 years, he probably played 4 or 5 different positions for us. Never complained. He was always willing to, you know, go to the other side of the ball or try out a new position, do something different. And even this past season, week to week, it was, you know, you're a tight end this week, and now you're going to be a wing, and now you're going to go be a D end. And it's hard to find players that want to do that. A lot of players just say, this is what I do. I'm a fullback. I don't do anything else. Or I'm just a linebacker. And he never did that. He always thought about the team. The thing that I'm probably going to miss the most about Darian, for those of you that know him, is Darian has perfected the art of trash talking, right? And a lot of guys talk trash, and they're just running their mouth, and they're kind of insulting about it. Darian knows how to go just to that line where, like, as a coach, like, you want to scream at him and tell him to shut up, but he knows, like, he's perfect at it. He's really good at talking trash to the point that it encourages everyone around him. It doesn't bring people down. A lot of people talk trash, and they do it to bring other people down. Darian does it to bring his teammates up. He encourages them through that, and it's a competitive spirit that he has. It's also his personality, and it's the thing that I'm going to miss the most, because you know when he's out on the field, when he's out there, because of his wonderful trash talking. He's so good at it. So Darian Brokenberg signing today with Howard University. Congrats.
Thank you, Coach Bod. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for coming out tonight. I would like to say thank you to a few people who have helped me get to this point in my life. I thank God for providing me with the opportunity to continue playing the game I love. I want to thank my lead coaches, Coach Johnson and Coach Brock. They've mentored me and taught me the fundamentals of the game, and we've had a good ride. I also want to thank the Colgan football staff, my teammates, and my friends. It's been a fun 3 years, I say. I was happy I got to come to Colgan. Next, I want to thank my family. It's been a long time, long ride, long process, but it's been fun. They've a lot of love and support. and they've put a lot of time and money into this, and it's all paid off. That's what I can say. I guess, and lastly, I want to thank Coach Prince, Coach Sam Weiss, and Coach Carter and the rest of the coaches at Howard University for believing in me and giving me the opportunity to play at the collegiate level. And that's it. Thank you.
My name is Keith Mesa. I am the head volleyball coach here at Colgan High School. When I first saw Madison Bowser play, it was actually before the school even opened. I saw her play on a travel team. She was 15 years old. And it was obvious right then that she was a full scholarship Division I athlete. You could tell just by the way she played and the explosion that she played with. What we could have never counted on was when she got here, the passion which Madison played with and the emotion and confidence that she brought to our team and who she was as a person in setting our culture when we first started 3 years ago. Madison's going to leave here with a lot of individual awards. She was two-time first-team All-District. She was Player of the Year in the district, Player of the Year in the region, first-team All-State, second-team All-Met. And she's going to leave Colgan as our leading all-time career leader in hitting attempts, hitting efficiency, kills, blocks, blocking efficiency, block assists, steal blocks, and it continues to go on and on. The most important thing Madison did for us was let us establish who we are. And not only who we are as a team, but who we hope to be as a school because of the way she approached the game. Not only did she achieve all these individual accomplishments, but she did so while leading her team to back-to-back district regular season championships and this school's first ever athletic regional championship. And I think that's the thing that she'll be most proud of when she leaves this school. She was exceptional to work with. We will certainly have problems replacing what Madison brought to the court, but more importantly, we'll have problems replacing Madison the person, and that will be the biggest deficit for our team. I'm very proud and privileged to introduce and present to you Madison Bowser as she signs with Texas A&M.
So thank you, Coach Mesa. Good evening, everybody. Okay. I would like to thank my immediate and extended family for supporting my career, my parents for their commitment of all of their resources to allow me to chase my dream, and my two younger brothers, of course, for spending countless hours in the gym cheering for me. I would like to thank all my teammates and coaches for pushing me to be the best player I can be. Thank you to all my friends for sticking by my side when I missed countless get-togethers and parties. Thank you to Metro Volleyball and Colgan Volleyball for their excellence in the sport of volleyball and their preparation for college, so I know that I will succeed wherever I go. Well, Texas A&M. Without God, this moment would not be happening, and I'm so grateful. The best coaching advice that I ever got was from my dad, who taught me that it's not where you start, it's where you finish. Thank you, guys.
Don't fall down. Shush. Go away. How you doing? I'm Dave Davis. I'm one of the track and field cross-country coaches here. Coach Tyrone is one of the other ones, and Coach Stearns could not be here tonight. First off, I'd like to thank the administration for letting us do what we get to do. Secondly, for all you parents, I appreciate everything you've done for everybody that's up here and anybody that you still have coming to school. So thank you very much for that. Parents, you deserve an applaud for yourself. It's called indoor track, but it's listed as winter track because we practice outside.
So all you have to do is think about the last 2 weeks or 3 weeks of what it's like and what we get to go out and go run in, or try to run in, or even if we get to go outside. So I get to talk about Emily a little bit, who is obviously one of our best runners on the team. She's also one of the best mid-distance runners in the state of Virginia. And I'm only going to talk for about 2 minutes because that's about a little bit longer than that's about what it takes her to run a half mile. So you can think about that. I didn't say 800 meters because I don't know if anybody understands what meters are. So it's very fortunate. I've been able to know her for a long time. I did not recruit her. I've known the family for quite a while, and I've been able to coach her for the last 1.5 to 2 years now, going on to it. And then she's going to be able to go to VCU, where she's going to improve and improve and improve. So the most important thing about her that I'm going to miss is not Emily the athlete, but Emily the person, because she is one of the most caring people that I know on the team, that cares about everybody that's out there, shows emotion for everybody else, and she's just simply a fantastic person. Thank you.
Hello. I'm gonna keep this like really short and sweet. I love you, Mom, and Dylan, and Dad, and Coach Davis. You're the best. Thank you.
Here we go. Good evening. I'm Kristen Misanchek, the head swim coach. And tonight I'm so proud to introduce Julia May, who is signing with the University of Mary Washington. Julia is a 4-year varsity swimmer. She started her career at Woodbridge High School and then transferred over here to Colgan. And she was able to go, she qualified for states for 3 years in a row, her sophomore, junior, and senior year. I say senior year because I'm confident she's going. Our states, we have regionals this Friday, and our 200 medley relay has already qualified for a state qualifying time, so we're definitely going. And then Julia has a great opportunity to also qualify her other relay, as well as her 100 fly and her 100 back. So we have an exciting week and a half left in our season. Julia is one of our high point earners on the team, and she plays a pivotal role in helping us secure 2 district titles here with our swim team. So congratulations to Julia for helping lead our girls to 2 district titles. She also currently is on all 3 of the relay records. So Julia really contributes so much to our team. Her favorite high school memory was actually last year when we took our 400 free relay to states, and Julia had the coveted position of leading off. And in swimming, the lead off is an official time. And so she swam her 100 free lead off, and it was her fastest time of her career. And it also helped her advance to a very prestigious senior championship meet for her club team. So that was exciting that she was able to accomplish that. Julia is a very valuable member of our team. She's a very effective senior captain, and she has such a strong character, an amazing work ethic. In fact, she insisted on going to her club swim team practice before coming here today. Her hair is still a little wet. So she's able to balance her club team and her high school team beautifully. She also takes a full load here at school. She's taking 4 advanced placement classes. She's maintained over 4.1 GPA, and she's currently ranked in the top 25 in her class. So Julia is quite a motivated swimmer, as well as a wonderful student. And the University of Mary Washington is so lucky to have such an impressive scholar athlete to represent their school. So congratulations, Julia, and we're excited to see you sign with the Eagles.
I would like to thank both of my parents for all they have done for my swim career, whether that was taking me to morning practice at 5 a.m. in the morning and then coming back that same day at night to drive me to my double practice. I would also like to thank both of my coaches, Coach Lorena and Coach Mischinchek, for always supporting me and my goals. Thank you.
I'm Coach Beckman, and I coach boys soccer. Tonight, we are honoring student athletes who are going to play at a higher level. I have the pleasure of introducing to you 4 out of 5 seniors who are going on tonight to play in college. However, sometimes a collegiate level athlete does choose a different path. So I want to take this opportunity, even though I was told not to, and quickly acknowledge our center back, who is also a senior, who has a 4.0 and a very high SAT score, who decided to lean into academics and leave soccer behind. Could we just take a moment? And Nick de Guzman, where are you? We do everything together. Sorry, Nick. Hector Colgan was on the original Colgan team during our first season. We had mostly very little freshmen and very little sophomores on the team who were used to challenging 6'4", 200-pound opponents. Needless to say, we lost every game except one, and that was a big one. We played Riverbend, who was number 2 in the conference during the first round of conference play. Now in the conference, the bottom team plays the number 2 team, sadly. So we were the bottom team, we had to take on Riverbend. We had them 1-1 during halftime, and I think Milo had the first goal, possibly. Then, sometime during second half, Hector, this guy right here, left-footed, cracked one of the prettiest strikes I've ever seen on the ball, and it bent into the far post, and we went wild. The game was over, and little Colgan had won. We had taken number 2 out of the district. While I barely remember the score, I have a picture of Hector's face in my mind after the goal. That was pure joy, and that I will always remember Hector. So, Hector Colgan.
Thank you, Coach. Good evening, everyone. This journey started when I was 5 years old. I was watching TV. I saw watching cartoons, playing soccer, and I found it really interesting. And I started bugging my parents about it until they finally said yes. This is the only sport I've ever played in my life, and I love it so much. I was blessed with such amazing parents. They have supported me since day one, and I'm thankful for that. One of my most memorable experiences I ever had was playing in Portugal in the Ibero Cup tournament with a team from Spain. It was an experience I will never forget. I'm also thankful for the amazing coaches I've had. I've learned so much from them. Without these great people in my life, this would have never happened. I'm looking forward to playing soccer in college level. Thank you.
Our next player is Kofi Mensah. I first met Kofi at tryouts for Colgan. All right, easy, fellas. I first met Kofi at tryouts for Colgan during our first season, and he was a sophomore. This kid talked so much about how good his little brother was at soccer. After about 10 minutes, I asked him, "So, where is your little brother?" And he casually said, "Oh, he's not trying out." And I said, "Why are you here?" And he said, "Oh, I'm trying out, but I'm not very good." And that's how I met Kofi. Over the last 2 years, I've had the pleasure of watching Kofi grow and grow and grow. I watched him play in a travel game at Loudon last fall, and I was shocked. I couldn't believe it. I grabbed him after the game and said, "Kofi, wow, I can't believe I'm saying this, but you have really gotten good. I think you can play at the next level." I thought he was going to cry. I thought I was going to cry. And here we are at the next level. Kofi, we're so proud of you.
Damn.
Well, first off, I would like to thank my parents for always supporting me and putting a lot of money into this. It was a lot of convincing to do, a lot. I would like to thank my girlfriend and my best friend, Francis and Maya. They always supported me every time I just did not believe in myself, always told me to shut up and just get over it. I'd like to thank Colgan Boys Soccer for always being there, always just being the best team I've ever played for. My favorite memory, beating Riverbend. That first win, that felt good. That felt amazing. Never forget that. Yeah. Thank you.
So the next soccer player is Milo Ayala, and this is an amazing young man and a fabulous soccer player. We were lucky to have him play with us our first year at Colgan, and we are grateful that he is back this year. Milo is a workhorse in the midfield, and his feet are simply beautiful. He played academy soccer his junior year, which means you can't play high school, but he did a phenomenal job, and ODU picked him up. But he was very brave lately, and he told both his college coach and his travel coach that he really wanted to leave the academy and play for Colgan this year. That takes a lot of guts. That's a lot of pressure. My favorite Milo moment, though, was against Forest Park 2 years ago. Milo scored to tie the game, and everyone went crazy. The fans went nuts. The parents went crazy, and the whole place was out of control. In fact, I remember Coach Alio actually said, "This is insane at high school soccer." And then, magically, the ref decided to call the goal back. Milo didn't like that very much. So he went over to the ref, and he might have said something bad, just a little bit, and he was immediately tossed from the game. Everybody was going crazy. Some people were laughing, crying, throwing things. I thought the stadium was coming down. But what I remember about this moment was the talk that we had. He came off the field and he sat down beside me, because I wasn't saying a word, and he begged for forgiveness. I said, "There's nothing to forgive. It was the heat of the moment, and you deserve to be mad. It was a goal, clearly." And I said, "But maybe you shouldn't have said that to the ref?" And he goes, right. And then he smiled, and everyone continued to go crazy, and Milo and I sat for about 4 minutes while the stadium was being torn down around us. Quietly, he looked at me and said, "Wow, they're really going nuts." And I said, "Yup." "You good?" He said, "Yup." "How about you?" "Yup." "Okay, we're good." And that was the end of it. Milo, welcome back, man. We missed you.
Thank you, Coach Beckman.
You're welcome. Don't forget this part.
Okay. I'd like to say thank you to all of you for coming. I could speak for, I'd say all of us. This is amazing. This is a point we've all wanted to come to. We work day in and day out at our practices. We lose some games, and that's not fun. We say we want to quit, but none of us ever did. So I'd like to thank my parents so much. That's a lot of money. That's a lot of time. I couldn't have done any of this without you, and thank you. I'd like to say thank you to my teammates. We got a great group of young men over there. Great group. I'd like to say a little story. As Coach Beckman said, our first year of playing, we won 1 game out of 14, I believe? 16. 16. 1 game. That wasn't really fun, but what got us through it was that chemistry and just that group. It was, coming back was the best decision of my life, and I'm so happy. I'd also like to thank Coach Steele. Going into college, they're pretty big, playing with men. So Coach Steele, he's helping all of us pretty much get to where we need to be and do what we need to do to become better soccer players and better people overall. So I'd like to end it with thanking ODU also for believing in me. This is a dream come true, and thank you.
I want to say about Cam, but I only have 2 minutes. And I promised him that I wouldn't cry, but I might not make it. So I'm going to go really fast. I'm kidding. I really am going to keep it short. I wish you could have seen this kid 4 years ago. When I tell you he was a knucklehead, you have no idea. I think he was thrown out of English class his freshman year more than he stayed. At one point, he said, "Who wouldn't want to kill a mockingbird?" to the teacher. I think he was ejected from more games his freshman year than I can count. And his mom and I worked together tirelessly to pull him together. And I got to tell you, we've had some hard talks, this kid and I. But I don't like to put kids forward into the next level until they're ready. And I was praying that that day was come soon. And about a year ago, it was actually last summer, driving home from camp, we had another talk. It involved me yelling a lot. And he listens, which is good. And this kid right now is out of control. I don't think I've ever coached a high school soccer player as good as he is. He's for real. And he got to go play at Radford, which is Division I. And he's going to do amazing things. The guys will tell you it's a complete turnaround. He is putting the work in on the field. He leads in the classroom. He's phenomenal with the ball. He's fit. He's ready to go. It's Cam Bell Cooper.
Thank you, Coach Beckman. First, I'd like to thank God for giving me the ability to play this great sport. I've been playing ball for 12 years now, and it's been a rough road. My mom spends countless hours driving to and from soccer fields for raising me by herself with nothing but love. She's done everything to help me succeed and would clearly not be standing here today without her. Also, thank you, Coach Beckman, for not only believing me when I didn't deserve it, but also showing me that playing Division I soccer isn't a dream, it's a reality. Thank you, Coach. My favorite Colgan soccer moment is when we were down 2-0 against Fairfax in the regional semifinal. At halftime, gave us At halftime, Coach gave us a pep talk, overhauled our lineup for the first time in my life. She tasked me to play with everything I had. I wanted to do this for Coach and for my teammates because they were truly like brothers to me. Coach pulled me aside and said, "Cam, you've always been enough for us. Just play for yourself and don't forget to have fun." We had the most fun in the second half and finished the game 4-2. The energy was crazy, and my teammates and I were going crazy. I hope to take that Colgan soccer energy and love with me to Radford and continue to make you proud. Thank you.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Jessica Cassidy. I'm the head softball coach here at Colgan High School. Kayla is probably one of my favorite athletes. She feels that she is the loudest athlete on the field. She does play a hot corner, third base, and a tough position behind the plate. But when she's yelling at all of the girls to get them pumped up, in her head, she sounds really loud. But what the girls hear is this. That's all they hear every time that she's trying to pump them up. And it's my favorite part every time because all the girls are kind of leaning in like, "What'd you say, Kayla? Did you say pump up a little bit? We got this." The other thing about Kayla is every time she comes to me, she starts everything off with, "But coach." Every time. I'll tell her, "Kayla, we got to do this." "But coach, you can't. We got to do this." And she's always the hardest working one. First one in, last one out, cleaning up with all the chores and helping the younger staff. That's the best part about Kayla. She's a natural leader, and she's going to lead our team our senior year to a very successful year. Randolph-Macon is very lucky to have Kayla. Kayla.
Further my career, and thank you to Coach Ryan, Coach Marcy, Coach Jess, and Coach Joe, and Coach Kay for everything you have done to get me where I am. Thank you to my teammates for being my second family and pushing me to do better. Thank you to my best friend and future roommate, Natalie, for being my softball buddy since 8th grade and for keeping me on my feet. Thank you to Coach Mack for training with me all summer long so I could get stronger and faster. Lastly, thank you to my family who has provided me with unconditional love and support, waking up at 4 a.m., paying thousands of dollars on camps, and pushing me above my limits. And Dad, I owe this all to you as you're my biggest inspiration on it.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Brian Hodge. I'm the varsity girls rowing coach here at Colgan. This is going to be a lot of fun because Lydia loves it when people give her compliments and pay a lot of attention to her. Like many of the coaches have talked about tonight, when I came in, all the athletes that I was working with had been at a different school beforehand, right? They'd all come from either Hilton or Woodbridge or some other rowing program. And it was very quick into working with the ladies that I realized that Lydia was pretty serious. And she took rowing very seriously, and she was determined. And her determination quickly, she's not the largest person. You'll see rowers walking around that look more like swimmers, usually larger people, tall and a little thicker. And when I went home after like a week practice, I told my wife, I was like, this girl might be the toughest person pound for pound that I've ever gotten to coach. that was a weekend, and we're 2 or so years later, and that still holds true. She's a quiet leader. She leads from inside the boat. Everyone has to follow her. Most of you probably don't know about rowing, but someone has to set the pace. That's Lydia. And she leads by example off the water as well. I can't say enough about how great it's been to coach here at Colgan, but also Lydia. And West Virginia is more than lucky to have her.
I would like to thank my family for being the most understanding and supportive the past 4 years with my rowing. They sacrificed a lot, allowing me to row club and scholastically. I'd be nothing without them. I'd like to give a special shout out to my mom. She has been the most supportive person in my rowing career. She has taken me up and down the East Coast, been in every race and almost taken a stop with the protein ball.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Pat Beckett, and I am the JV coach for girls lacrosse, and it is my honor to present Abby Kopp as she commits to Shippensburg University to play lacrosse. It has also been my distinct privilege to walk with Abby side by side, shoulder to shoulder on her lacrosse journey over the past 7 or 8 years. It has been an absolute joy to watch her grow and develop into the great lacrosse player she now is today, but more importantly, the person she's become. I'd like everybody to reflect on some of the stats that we heard read earlier this morning, or earlier in the presentation, and think about this. Today, there are over 150,000 girls playing lacrosse across our nation. Of them, 2.7% will commit to a D2 program. Now think of this. Of that small 2.7%, an infinitely even smaller amount will play the toughest position, both physically and mentally demanding on the field, and that is goalie. So that's the type of kid that we see here today. So I would like to say that I'm super proud of you, young lady. I am looking forward to the next step in your adventure. I want to hear and see about it. And I'd like to end by saying to Steve and Danica, congratulations. You should be proud. I know you are, but you should also be proud of yourselves for raising such a beautiful, wonderful kid.
Playing in 2nd grade, and Coach Beck has coached me since around 4th grade to high school. Yeah. I also want to thank my boyfriend, who has helped me a lot the last season when I struggled. And yeah, thank you.
Good evening. You can't see behind the podium, but I'm actually standing on phone books. I'm a little short, so bear with me. First, I'd like to thank the leadership class and Coach Beckman for putting this together. This is an outstanding event, a great evening for Colgan Athletics. And I'd like to congratulate all the other student athletes and their families for the outstanding achievements they've put forward in their scholastic and athletic careers. It is an absolute pleasure to have the honor of saying that I'm Chris Clark's lacrosse coach. He is an outstanding player. I'm extremely proud of him. I'm thrilled for him. For him to be playing at a Division I level at Mount St. Mary's University is big time, not only for our program, but for the entire state of Virginia. He represents Colgan lacrosse very well. His teammates love him. His coaching staff loves him. Two things I'd like to briefly touch upon that I believe are key attributes that will guide him towards success for the next 4 years. Number one, just like every great athlete, he makes his teammates better just by being on the field with them. And number two, he has the ability and the confidence of not only his entire team, but his coaching staff to basically take over a game and dictate what's going to happen on the field. And I feel that those two characteristics and attributes are going to allow him and ensure him to have continued success at Mount St. Mary's University. I'm so very proud of you, Chris. It's been an absolute joy and a pleasure to get to know you, to have the privilege of coaching you. I love your work ethic. I love your demeanor. I love your sense of humor. There's times when he and I have butted heads, but we quickly get over that and we realize that we've got an awesome relationship between a player and a coach. And to say that I'm going to miss him next year is going to be an absolute understatement. Mount St. Mary's University is very lucky to be receiving a lacrosse player like Chris. And not only am I excited to see what he does his senior year at Colgan, but I'm going to be his #1 fan. And I'm ready to watch him just electrify Division I lacrosse. So it's my honor to have Chris Clark signed to Mount St. Mary's University.
I would just like to thank my amazing parents for always helping me get through this whole situation, getting me to this Division I level, and paying for everything. I want to thank Coach Bobby, my amazing coach, for pushing me through everything. Even when I sometimes didn't want to play lacrosse and got frustrated, he helped me get through it and pushed me to continue to play to this day. Also want to thank my other amazing coach, Coach Hoover, for pushing me through this and getting me to this Division I level also. And I would also like to thank my amazing team. Other than that, I would like to thank my friends, and that's all. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you all. We would like to again thank you all for coming here tonight. We'd like to give an additional shout out to Ashley Osborne. If you, as a parent, athlete, or faculty member, you haven't had a chance to stop by her training room to see what she does in there, it's absolutely amazing the way she works with our student athletes and the plethora of knowledge that she has about athletics. I've gone in there myself just to ask her advice on things. She's absolutely amazing, and I honestly don't know where our team would be without her. She does such a great job taking care of our athletes. So thanks again, Ashley.
So we would like to personally thank everyone for coming tonight, but a special shout out to the Leadership Kids, Colgan's culture coordinators, for organizing this tonight. So can you please stand for a round of applause, Colgan Leadership.
Thanks, guys.
I'd like to ask all of the athletes to join us in Commons A immediately after for a group photo. And remember that parents and kids are invited to the stage. Everyone is invited to stay for cake in Commons A. Thank you and good night. Please drive safe. Before we leave, we're going to hear from Ms. Ruckstein.
One more thing, Ms. Beckman, come on up.
This is a token of our appreciation, so thank you to you and your kids.